We would normally expect the Irish double, the World champions, McCarthy and O'Donovan. You'll see they're the world champions, but they're in lane 2 because they lost to the Swiss in the semi-final yesterday.
In lane 1 from Belgium, Van Zandweg and Vive. In lane 2 from Ireland, the 2023 world champions and reigning Olympic champions, Fintan McCarthy and Paul O'Donovan. In lane 3 from Italy, Stefano Oppo and Gabriel Suarez. In lane 4 from Switzerland, get ready for those cowbells as we come into the dying stages of this race. Jan Schoberle and Rafael Ahamada, Ireland. Lane 5 from Spain, Denny Carcedo Ferrero and Caetano Horta Pombo. And lane 6 from Norway, Lars Benske and Ask Jarl Chiom.
Yeah, this Norwegian double, saw them earlier in the year sprinting in the last 500, so you can't count them out almost wherever they are coming into the last 500. Yeah, the big news really was the stepping up of this Swiss double that we're seeing now. Jan Schoberle, Rafael Almeida, Ireland. They took a second off the Irish yesterday, pretty much in the first 500, and then they held that all the way down the course to win their semi-final. The Italians, Oppo and Suarez, obviously so experienced in this double. They're the bronze medalists from Belgrade. They won the other semi-final, so in the centre lane. Of course, we get a really smooth start, of course, all 6 of these doubles cleanly away. We have a look in at this Swiss double. Second in Belgrade, they got silver medal. We wondered whether they would have it in them to beat the Irish this year, whether they would be the challengers, whether the Italians would be the challengers. The Spanish starting pretty well as well over here. Italy, I think, just got that bow in front at the moment.
And that's really the story of this race, isn't it, Greg? These 3 crews, any of whom could be the one to beat. Ireland, Italy, Switzerland. As you've said, Switzerland, the fastest qualifiers from the semi-finals, sensationally beating the world champion and reigning Olympic champion pairing of McCarthy and O'Donoghue.
Yeah, that's right.
O'Donovan, sorry.
No, that's right. I mean, we see such a kind of consistent performance, really. Paul O'Donovan in the stroke seat, Fintan McCarthy behind him. You know, they keep it moving, they use their biceps. Sometimes they're not the cleanest looking crew, but they're certainly the raciest looking crew to look at. Higher rating, usually most of the crews here pretty much sitting on 40 strokes a minute. Looking at the face of Rafael Almeida, Ireland there. I think they'll be okay with that position that they've got. It's the Italians who've really jumped out. The rest of the field's pretty close there. There's a kind of calmness and a relaxation about this Swiss crew here on the Rotsey. I'm just wondering whether they're going to check this move or whether the Italians are going to go out any further right now.
The Swiss look just totally in control, don't they? They're so smooth, so calm, whereas the Italians, as you said, they're quite aggressive, really punchy out in front of the course. Italy, of course, won that gold medal in Varese, really announcing themselves as being back on the scene. They won the silver at the Europeans. They were the World Championship bronze medalists last year. Oppo, of course, the bronze medalist from Tokyo. So a very, very strong pairing here. But the question is, what's going on with the Olympic champions?
Yeah, with the Olympic champions here, They're in second place. They've got in front of those Swiss. Like I said, the Swiss grabbed a second in the first 500 yesterday and then held that the whole way. But it was one of these semi-finals that kind of went right down to the wire. You know, the two of them raced it the whole way. You wonder what that might have taken out of them. And not that the Italians had it easy by any stretch in the other semi-finals, but the Italians, we can see it now, as you say, there's just a little bit more aggression. There's a little bit more zip about the way they're sculling. They're 40 strokes a minute. Stefano Oppo in the bow seat, Gabi Suarez in the stroke seat, coming through 1,000. And I think they've continued to move on the rest of the field. It's just about one length to those Italians, and then bow ball to bow ball here. Looking again in on these Italians. It's dynamic, isn't it? I mean, there's no let up there.
Absolutely, Greg. They're up at 40 strokes per minute. Here are the Irish. They're down on 38 strokes per minute, just a couple of pips lower. Does that mean that they have somewhere to go in the dying stages? I mean, you never want to rule out O'Donovan and McCarthy in the dying stages of the race. We know they can sprint, but they're locked here, bow ball for bow ball, with the Swiss, these three crews out in front. In fact, I think that the Italians might be breaking clear of those two trailing crews, Greg.
Yeah, that gap is still getting bigger. You wonder what it took out of them yesterday. You wonder what the Italians have got, but it's a great lead that the Italians have got. They're moving in the third quarter. We had a little look at the Norwegians as well in front of us. Benska and Arskiel Tom. I've said they can sprint. They're still in there. The Spanish, of course, will sprint as well. Those two were 5th and 6th, the Spanish being 5th, the Norwegians being 6th last year in Belgrade. They'll want to improve on those positions, but the Italians here, they are the ones who are just keeping racing, keeping moving, and that gap is just getting bigger, while the Swiss and the Irish are pretty much locked in a race together.
As we come up to the 1,500 metres, holding our collective breath here, it is the Italians coming through with clear water now behind those two trailing crews, Ireland and Switzerland locked together. And look at the three trailing crews at the back of the field. They're bow ball for bow ball too. Are any of them going to be able to break three and push up into the medals? But for me, the Italians just have looked so strong from stroke one. I don't know that anyone's going to be able to make up that distance now, Greg.
Yeah, the Irish are romping their way down the Italians are romping their way down the centre of this course. So clean, so direct. You can look at the Swiss now. They're starting to pick it up. They're starting to sprint. They're starting to look a little bit more racy. They looked almost too comfortable in the early stages. The Irish, you wouldn't say they look comfortable, but you would say they look racy, and you would say that they're moving. Both these crews coming back now on the Italians, but the Italians are into the red buoys. All of the crews are into the red buoys. It looks like that's it for the gold, silver and bronze. Here we go. Can Italy hang on?
Italy still in the lead, but they have a charge coming from the Swiss off their left. They have the Irish off to the right. The Irish step to 42, Italy on 43, the Swiss on 46 strokes per minute. They're driving down to the line. We can hear the cowbells going.
Well, here they come. They're coming down in front of us. We see the Swiss here on Lake Lucerne. They're up to 46 strokes a minute. Have they broken the code? Will they get through the Italians? I think it's the Italians who have it for the gold medal. Coming down to the line is going to be Italy who take the gold. Switzerland hang on to that second, just ahead of Ireland, I think. The world champions pushed back into third position. Across the line then it's Norway, it's Spain and it's Belgium. But it was a fantastic race from the Italians. They were so brave in that first 1,500. The rest of the field came back to them. The Swiss thought they might have done it, but they left it too late in that last 500. It was even just the last 250, really, they sprinted. Wow, what a race. And the Irish, well, same as yesterday. They were just behind the Swiss yesterday. I wonder what would have happened if they hadn't spent quite so much energy yesterday. But the Italians were commanding today. The Swiss had to find a way to sprint, had to find a way to get themselves across the line. And they really left themselves an awful lot to do in that last 250. And Italy, what a great race. Stefano Oppo and Gabi Suarez moving up from bronze medalists in Belgrade to being the World Cup 2 winners here in Lucerne.
Fantastic racing. We see there the replay. The world champions pushed back into bronze medal position. The Italians replicating their race-winning performance from World Cup 1 with a World Cup win here in Lucerne.
Yeah, some interesting kind of gestures there as they cross the finish line. And Gabriel Suarez in that stroke seat. But a big win for Italy ahead of Switzerland and the Irish.
Let's hear it for our medalists.